Welcome back to Sky and Thread. I'm Kelly. Today we're going to do a flip through and a first impressions on the Adventurers Tarot. I am so excited about this video because this deck has a little bit of a story. It was like just serendipitous that I got it. I'm in a D&D group, a Dungeons and Dragons group. We play every weekend. And I saw this deck. I don't know if Instagram gave me an ad for it, something like that. I got an ad for it somehow. And I was like, oh, these targeted ads know me. So I was talking to my group. I'm like, I think on payday last month, I was like, I think on payday, I'm gonna get this deck. And then I get a message from a friend, like maybe not even a week later, like, hey, do you already have this deck? And it's this one. And I'm like, no. I was just talking about it. And they're like, good, don't get it because I got it for you for Christmas. And I was like, are you serious right now? So they definitely like targeted ads understand me. I think my friends know I'm a simple person with simple hyper-focused interests. If it's D&D and tarot, I'm into it. So yeah, the Adventurers Tarot, they sent it to me. It finally got here after some mail delays. I think we've all been experiencing that because everything with the holidays and the panini and just chaos in general, the chaotic world we live in right now. So yeah, it came with this really nice bag in a very nice box. I gave it a quick look through when I first got it because I was with my mother and she wanted to see it. So it's not a first impression, but it's still a very early impression. I love all the foil on the box. It's just gorgeous. I know this is probably what attracted to my friend to it, is because he also loves hollow foil stuff, or just foil inlay stuff, or cold press, whatever it's called. I don't remember. Let's go ahead and show you the backs. And it has this nice little book that comes with it, and it explains like in Dungeons and Dragons, there's these things called classes. So after you pick like what race your character is, like if you're going to be, you know, like an elf or an orc or a human, or, you know, all the different kinds of magical races, then you pick kind of like their job class, where you're a bard or a ranger or a fighter or a monk, you know, and it shows you in this deck each of those. And then it has kind of enemies you can battle, and like in the divination sense, it would just be like obstacles you're overcoming. And then it has a few that look like they're really for, I don't know if they were stretch goals, but like the creator and the players outside of the actual D&D world. So when I get to those, I'll explain them a little bit better. But they kind of play fast and loose with divinatory aspects. It's kind of like you can use this to build a D&D game, or if you want to use it as kind of like an oracle, you can do that. I think it's really cool for maybe like personality or personal conflicts and like advice kind of readings. Maybe not the most general kind of reading, but if you really resonate with the D&D archetypes, it might be really great for you. So it's the backs are this really cool victory, defeat kind of not reversible, but look really good no matter which way they're facing kind of deal. They're not, I don't think they're distracting if they're if you do use reversals. So we'll go through the deck. Let me go ahead and bring you guys in, and we'll do that. Get some music going. So now you guys have seen all the absolutely beautiful artwork. I do believe this started out as some kind of indie campaign, Kickstarter campaign. We were talking about the developer and my off center again. The developer, DM, and yeah, what's the other card? The developer and what did you call yourself? The designer and the DM. I do think this was probably a way of incorporating the creators of this deck into the deck, which I think is really cool too. So this is a fun deck if you're wanting to join a game or start a game of Dungeons and Dragons and you don't know what character to pick or what battles to organize. It's fun for that. I've never actually DM'd a game myself. I've never run a game myself. I've only played as a character, you know, a player character in one. And this is my first campaign in the last few months, so I'm learning. It is really interesting. I like the book that it says it uses 2 different keywords for a positive and a negative or a shadow aspect of the card. You know, if we're gonna say like the Blood Hunter, that's a card I really like. Where were you? There we go. Like the Blood Hunter. You know, you have sacrifice and redemption. The Blood Hunter sacrifices everything to pursue justice. It is your goal. Is your goal worth the pain and suffering you create for yourself? Or redemption? If you have sacrificed your values to achieve your goals, seek atonement, repair broken boundaries, especially your own. So even in the shadow, it's almost like that is the more optimal outcome of a situation, which is really cool. And cards like the adversary that we were looking at here, they have like the 1, the 2, the, you know, however many, I think it's up to like 6 or so of that particular one. And they all only have one meaning, but in a divinatory aspect, they could definitely talk about how many, you know, how many obstacles you're facing, how long you're gonna face them, something like that, which is kind of cool. And, you know, it has growth and death. So is the obstacle growing? Is it still a problem? Or death? Have you overcome, or will you overcome this soon? Or is it something that just cannot be escaped? Is it like a tower moment if you get this adversary card? So it's got some really cool aspects. Let's see. Yeah, it shows like at the start of a session for D&D, if your player has advantage on initiative, you can pull, like, that's why they have two cards for each one, so you can see something like that. If they have an animal companion, you know, we saw that they have, where did it go? You know, if they have a companion, you can mark that too. Beginning of a combat, determine how many enemies. We saw that, you know, the multiple enemy cards, what kind of enemies. And you can place, you know, all of your initiatives, you know, when and, you know, how they're going to attack in their battle. I guess they also have a print and play PDF that y'all need to check out that has more information. And then on the back it has for like us oracles who are going to do divination, and it says divine initiative by shuffling those involved combatants. So you could actually, instead of having them roll for initiative, I guess you could actually draw for initiative, which might be fun. It says you can perform tarot readings, remove any of the cards you feel are redundant. But I kind of feel like sometimes redundancies are good depending on the type of deck. If you need to magnify attention to that particular problem, you know, or just build your story. So I don't know how much I will be using these cards for divination. I do like a lot of the classes for archetypes. I do like archetype kind of readings. So there's a lot of that to choose from. I don't know, it may be fun. I may have to play with, you know, taking out certain cards to build this deck in a certain way for divination, but I definitely think for DMD, if I ever do run my own game, this is going to be something really fun to try to use. We'll try it both ways and see which way it works better for me. I definitely hope I can put it to good use. I am very grateful to the friend who got me this, knew that it was like right up my alley. I also really love the artwork. I think that I love me some colorful artwork. If you've seen any of my other, I think my Only 10 Decks tag, or usually any of my other tags, you're gonna see that I love a bright, colorful deck, and the colors in this are amazing. The foil stamping is amazing. The box is really nice. It's a nice hard clamshell box. It's gonna protect these cards, and I hope they last a long time. And I don't know, I just, it's really interesting. It's a really interesting concept, and hopefully it brings some good results. I could use some luck in my game for sure. And yeah, I think that's my first impressions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say that I forgot, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, if this deck is available mass market, I don't know if it was only through a Kickstarter or if it's mass market now. If it does, wherever you can buy it, I will put the link. I will research that and make sure that link is in the description for those of you who are interested in this deck and want to get your hands on it. I try not to do walkthroughs of decks that you cannot get your hands on, but this is a special case where I wanted to share this with some of my D&D friends that were interested in this deck as well. So if you can't find it, I'm sorry, but if you can, I'll make sure that you know where to do that. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed checking out this deck with me, and I will see you again soon. Okay, bye.